everyone. I'm Bee, and welcome back to Read and Roam. It's finally time to take all of our amazing brainstorming ideas and start drafting our stories. Last time, we picked a theme that mattered to us. I chose when someone goes through something really hard, they can still feel better if they get love and care. Then, I started dreaming up story parts that could help show that theme. Today, I'm going to show you how to turn those brainstorming notes into the very first draft of a story. It won't be perfect, but it will be full of heart. Now, you may be wondering, how will we get these notes into a draft? Before we write anything down, let's peek at what we brainstormed. I used the same chart you did to organize my ideas that I wanted to move forward with in my story. Of course, I have my theme and genre picked and ready to go. My main character is a shy cat from the shelter who goes to a new home. The setting is a family's house, a place that could feel safe and full of love. The conflict? The family already has a pet, and the cat doesn't feel sure about her place yet. The resolution I settled on is that the other pet in the house ends up helping the cat. Now that I've reminded myself of the elements I brainstormed, I can start putting them together. When I'm drafting, I always like to start with the beginning, where I introduce the character and setting and hint at the problem. A while ago, we talked about how settings can change throughout the story. And even though the setting I chose is actually the family's home, I want to start my story at the shelter to really give the audience an idea of the cat's journey. I can take my ideas for the character and setting and turn them into a full sentence. Something like, one morning, a cat peered out from the corner of her crate at the shelter. Let's add a bit more about the cat so my readers understand what she's feeling at this moment. She had been at the shelter for weeks, hiding and watching. Then one day, a family arrived. They spoke gently and smiled softly. The next thing the cat knew, she was in a car heading to a new place, a house with soft blankets and a big, bouncing dog. Do you see how I showed the setting and gave just a little peek at the problem? By having the dog show up in the beginning, I'm allowing readers to think about what could happen before I reveal it to them. I also added a detail about the home having a soft blanket to help add to the idea that the home could be warm and safe for the cat. Thinking about the main character and setting you chose for your story, how can your beginning paragraph hint at the problem your character might face? Pause here and record your thoughts. Now it's time to build the middle of the story. This is where we show conflict, the tricky part the character faces. I already brainstormed my conflict. There is another pet in the home, and the cat is very unsure about it. So to write it in my rough draft, first, I'll think about what my character might be experiencing or feeling. Then, I'll think about how that leads up to my main conflict. We know the cat is experiencing a new environment, the family's home. Because of that, she might feel scared, even when others are trying to comfort her. That's the main conflict. To bring this part to life, I'll think about how to use details to show exactly what my character is going through to help show the theme. So even in the middle of the story, when things feel tricky, I want to drop in little signs of kindness that might help. I'll keep writing. At her new home, the cat stayed under the couch. The curtains in the living room were blue, and the floor was covered in carpet. Here I could write, the cat didn't like the dog at all, but that doesn't really fit my theme. So instead, I'll write, she flinched every time the dog barked. He wasn't mean, he was just loud. That shows she's scared, but there's a chance things could change since I mentioned the dog isn't mean. That matches my theme better. I'll continue with, the family tried to help her feel safe, but nothing worked. One day, the dog dropped his favorite toy near the couch and wagged his tail. The cat peeked out, just a little. So I'm starting to show how things are slowly changing. First, my conflict shows that even though the cat feels unsafe and scared, there's a hint that something might change when the cat peeks out to look at the toy. Why do you think it's important to include moments where we see a character starting to change? It's a way that I can bring in my theme in the middle of the story. We know that stories with a strong theme point to it throughout, not just in the ending. Take a moment to think about your character. How might they feel before the problem happens? How might they change by the end of the story? Pause here and record your ideas. Now for the resolution. Endings don't have to be huge, but they should show the reader how the character changed and how the theme shines through. Looking at my notes, I chose the idea of the dog helping the cat feel safer and at home. So let's finish the story. That same night, the cat climbed out from her hiding spot. She curled up at the edge of the rug. The dog walked over and dropped a second toy. This one small and soft, right beside her paws. Then he lay beside her, quiet. The family sat nearby, reading and smiling. For the first time in a long time, the cat felt something in her chest. Safe. Maybe this was home. Aw, I think that really brings out the theme. The cat had been through something hard, but with love and care, she began to feel safe again. That's what this story is really about. Now it's your turn to start to draft. When writing your draft, remember these things. Start with your theme. Keep it in your heart as you write. Use your brainstorming notes to write a beginning, a middle, and an ending. First drafts aren't perfect, and they shouldn't be. What's important is starting to figure out how your story will progress and practicing how to make the theme shine through. As you write, keep asking yourself, does this help show my theme? How does my character change from the beginning to the end? You can use your brainstorming notes, draw your ideas, or even act them out before writing. Whatever helps bring your story to life. Next time, we'll work on making our stories even stronger by revising them with our theme in mind. Happy writing, and I'll see you next time. And remember, where there are words, there's a world to explore. Hey, hey.